Imagine living a simple life, a life with less concern, not overwhelmed by too many things to take care of, and free from the overstuffed clutter that has piled up over time. A life where you focus on what you love, get better at it, and eventually achieve your meaningful milestones. That's the kind of life we all strive to cultivate. In today's video, I want to share 4 minimalist habits that have helped me to get closer to a simpler, more effective life, and which can also help you live one. A life with less maintenance but more progress, fewer regrets but greater fulfillment over time. These habits and lessons come from the book Essentialism by McKeown, which I enjoyed so much that I still revisit my notes on it. I've admired the idea of minimalism since it first gained its popularity. It has helped me to become a person who streamlines what I own with some principles like have a why before you buy, the spark joy rule, and declutter before organization. However, since minimalism is really about being intentional in our everyday lives, the idea of minimalistic living can be applied to all areas of life, which is doing fewer important things but better by focusing on those that truly matter to us. The first habit for a simpler life is to focus only on the essentials and eliminate the non-essentials. Our daily time spending is quite similar to how we treat our closet. In the book, McKeown uses the analogy of a closet to illustrate how simple life should look in both work and daily living. When we neglect our closet, it doesn't take long for it to become cluttered and disorganized, crammed with items to the point where we don't even know what's where. Despite being filled with numerous items, we typically wear or value only about 20% of all the things that we have. Yet we keep stuffing more in until the closet starts to resemble a storage room. This happens because we continue adding new things to a limited space but never remove anything. Eventually, it becomes overstuffed. To fix this, we need to create a healthy circulation, almost like treating our closet as a living organism. By strategically balancing what comes in and what goes out, keeping it as simple and effective as possible. If we keep adding things while leaving too many non-essential items in our closet or life, it becomes impossible to focus on what's essential and make meaningful progress. Then how do we create such a healthy circulation? How do we determine what to keep and what to discard? For that, he suggests we have to ask a tougher question to ourselves. When sorting through their closet, most people typically ask a vague question like, will I wear this someday? But the better question to ask yourself is this a favorite item that I would wear today? If the answer is no, then 99% of the time, it's most likely you'll never wear it. The key takeaway is this: if you want to make significant progress in the areas that matter most, feeling in control and energized in your life, you have to be highly selective about what you take on spending your time and energy. Ask yourself, is this a favorite thing that I truly value and enjoy? Does it serve the purpose of the direction I am heading in? Is this essential to maintain? The second habit for a simpler life is to remember the trade-offs. There is a line in the book that really changed how I think about my decisions on time spending, and it's this: if we try to do everything, we make trade-offs we would never make as an intentional strategy. What this means is that we must remember there will always be trade-offs for every choice, whether they are part of our intentional strategy or not. And it's much wiser to make intentional trade-offs rather than just letting them happen by saying yes to everything due to social pressure or default habits. We might believe that if we try to take on everything, we'll have a better chance of succeeding, thinking we are minimizing risk. But the truth is, there is always an opportunity cost. A price we pay by not saying no, which carries the risk of closing the door to greater achievements. For example, if you say yes to every business opportunity, you lose the capacity to focus deeply on the most essential ones. If you say yes to eating a sweet treat before your meal, you lose your appetite for a nutritious meal. If you say yes to filling your entire schedule, you lose the chance to rest and take care of your mind and soul. There are trade-offs for every choice, even the ones you don't notice. If you take on something, it also means you are giving up on something else. That's because the time and energy we have been given are limited. In this culture, the idea of having it all has led us to believe that we can or should do everything, We must attend all the meetings, learn every skill, and take on every opportunity. It's far more effective to focus on what is meaningful and valuable to you, rather than trying to have it all and risk what matters most. We must recognize that we can't do everything, so we need to prioritize what truly matters. We talked about how important it is to pursue less, but focus on what is essential in our lives. Then, next logical question would be, then how do we decide what is essential and what is not? That brings us to the third habit for a simpler life, which is making empty space in your schedule to have time to think about what are the things that matter to you the most. One of the most practical reasons it's so hard to embrace a simpler life, even if you want it, is the fear of what if. What if I lose my chance for a promotion if I don't attend the social gathering? What if I fall behind if I don't learn all these skills? What if I regret discarding these clothes from my closet someday? With this what if concern, it's easy to feel that the safest route is to take on everything for everyone. As a result, we keep postponing our intentional choice to figure out what's truly essential in our lives. Creating empty space isn't just about having time to rest, which is important, but also about breaking the default cycle of letting others decide how we spend our time and energy. It's about utilizing the power of choice that we have to distinguish the important from the trivial in your life. That's why many leaders, thinkers, and entrepreneurs make it a priority to carve out time to pause from all the busyness. Isaac Newton made his groundbreaking discoveries on gravity and motion while working in near isolation for 2 years. Jeff Weiner, former LinkedIn CEO, scheduled 2 hours of blank space daily to think strategically instead of being consumed by back-to-back meetings. Bill Gates took 2 think weeks each year to read, reflect, and focus on the bigger picture. Set aside intentional empty blocks of time. Reflect your day, keep a journal, and identify patterns to better understand yourself. Once a critical decision in life is made, all subsequent choices fall into place, while other options become less relevant. Here are some questions to help you reflect and make that critical decision. What is my purpose in all of this? What would be the highest contribution I am striving to achieve? What am I good at? And what can I do to benefit others? Learning to say no when needed is one of the most crucial parts of living a simple and effective life. Especially for some people, turning down other people's requests can feel like a difficult life challenge. Growing up, I was one of those good children who listened to their parents quite well. The downside of that was that I never had a chance to practice saying no when I needed to. I've gotten much better now as I'm not that kid anymore, and I've learned that saying no is also a skill, one that you can develop with practice. In the book, Greg explains some principles that I found really helpful for bravely but gracefully saying no. It's the decision, not the person. Rejecting someone's request is not the same as rejecting them. You have to separate the two in your mind. Accept that you might be temporarily unpopular. This one was life-changing for me. I think one of the biggest reasons I was a yes person growing up was the fear of disappointing others. When you say no, the other person may feel disappointed or even angry at times. But in the long run, I've learned that they come to respect you even more for your honesty and for demonstrating that everyone's time is more valuable than temporary popularity. One thing to keep in mind is that practicing saying no is not the same as becoming someone who cares less or saying no just for the sake of it. It's an intentional strategy to eliminate the non-essentials so you can free up time to focus on the things that are more important to you. Wanting to live a simpler life. Maybe this is why some people dream of moving to a cottage and embracing a hermit lifestyle, searching for something different, something simple. But we all know that living in a cottage away from busy downtown doesn't actually solve the problem of busyness. There are still chores to take care of, responsibilities to meet, and life's challenges to deal with. Life can quickly become just as cluttered and hectic no matter where you are, because life is life. If you truly see change, a more effective solution would be to change from within. Become more intentional about what you say yes or say no to. And to do that, take the time to pause and reflect on how you are shaping your life. I'll wrap up today's video with a question posed by a poet, Mary Oliver, as found in the book Essentialism. Tell me, What is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Please leave a comment if you have any thoughts or your stories you would like to share about living a simple life. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!